Hello and welcome to HBM's UFO Corner about the Shag Harbour UFO incident of October 1967, just a few weeks before the Patterson Gimlin film of Bigfoot was shot. Now, apparently, the witnesses at first thought it was a plane crash, or they suspected a plane crash, but nothing was ever found, interestingly enough. And to this day, it remains one of Canada's most well documented UFO mysteries. And here's the video from it. Hopefully, I won't get a copyright strike from this.
I'm doing my PhD in folklore at Memorial University of Newfoundland, and basically what I'm doing here in Shag Harbour is an interpretation history of the Shag Harbour UFO story.
What are you finding?
Well, that there's been a varied interpretation history. It wasn't until newspaper reports began to be published a few days later that, this term UFO appears in headlines, and so kind of people are sort of shocked. What are they talking about UFOs in Shag Harbour?
Here's where we come back and everybody come and watch the light. And here's where the light was first in the water and it drifted there and went out.
Wow. Wow.
And here's where the RCMP officer was. There's his car, he was somewhere across there when he see it and that's where he called it in.
I think it's a very good objective for the human species at this critical moment when we're in this halting and tentative and not fully successful way trying to bind up all the peoples of the earth into what we clearly are, one species and one planet. I think the very thought of there being other beings different from all of us can have a very useful, cohering role for the human species.
There's also a Shag Harbour UFO Center in Shag Harbour. And there's a website. I guess this must be the dates that it's open, the museum. June 15th through September 30th of 2024. Here's a website about the Shag Harbour Expo, UFO Expo, coming up this year in 2024. It'll be September 27th to the 29th. Oh, okay. Interesting. Of course, you have to fly to you have to go to Nova Scotia. Looks interesting. And the Shag Harbour incident, UFO incident, was revisited in 2001.
There's not a whole lot of coming and going in Shag Harbour. Most families have lived here for generations. It's the kind of place where everybody knows everybody else.
We have a lot of jokes about our name. The name Shag came from a bird. That's where the name came from. It wasn't, as Austin Powers would say.
When strangers do come to visit, they normally drop by Cindy Nickerson's post office. But back in 1967, there were strange things happening around Shag Harbour, the kind of things folks are still chattering about. There were strange things happening around Shag Harbour, the kind of thing...
Driving along up to Shag Harbour and we see some lights out of the car window. We head farther up the road. It made a 45-degree angle and started coming down. And we was behind a hill, and when we made the top of the hill, the light was in the water. The next morning, that was gone.
Fishermen, the Coast Guard, even the Navy searched for those mysterious lights. It became Shag Harbour's defining moment, the night the UFO came. Right away, it attracted world attention.
The next morning, all the top military people were here. They don't come here for something somebody's supposed to have seen.
Since then, there's been a steady stream of UFO seekers, but there were no Shag Harbour souvenirs for them, until now.
The design is, well, it has the island and the fishing boat and the little UFO.
Tiny Shag Harbour will now be identified to the world with an unidentified flying object stamp cancellation. Hundreds of people from Europe and the U.S. have sent letters seeking the special mark, a mark that commemorates forever the day aliens discovered Shag Harbour. Rob Gordon, CBC News, Shag Harbour.
And that's going to do it for this week. We want to thank you very much for tuning in. You guys are the show. And in 2 weeks, I'm going to be covering the Gulf Breeze UFO incident. So until then, y'all be good or be good at it. It's May-HBM's UFO Corner.